if anybody, so assuming that everyone's done their homework, if anybody has questions about the homework assignment, I'm free to answer any of those questions. Any questions, 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 questions?
We have one from Joshua, and Joshua said that hope it is going to be recorded for us who have a poor connection. I think that yes, the meeting is being recorded, and you should get access to that as well.
I'll move forward to sharing my screen and kind of just going over Upwork um, as a whole. So moving forward with the thanks for that. Moving forward with the training, we have Upwork here. Upwork, as we've mentioned, Upwork is a platform for freelancing. On Upwork, you meet a bunch of companies that are kind of just looking for people to, um, perform certain services, whether that's coding, that could be writing. I'm actually a writer myself. Project management, marketing, video editing. It goes into a lot of different things. So even if you're, coding may be a bit difficult for you, or you may find interest in something else, when you as you're on Upwork, you can still find jobs for that profession. So this is when you get on Upwork, this is what you'll see. You'll have kind of some of your job feeds. So these are job feeds I've created. Um, they don't really mean anything to anybody else but myself. They're kind of I know what they mean to you. They may not make much sense, but it's kind of just how I group different sorts of jobs within Upwork. So if I click on, for example, May 19th, a different set of jobs will pop up. No category, another different set of jobs will pop up as well. So it's kind of just my mental note. But I think moving on to here, these are kind of the most important categories. So when you apply for Upwork, it'll ask you to kind of input different categories that you're good at on the platform. So these are my six categories: search engine marketing, search engine optimization, web content, article and blog writing, editing and proofreading, and copywriting. And if I click on any of these categories, so I will click on, let's do article and blog writing. It'll show me jobs of, companies that are looking for article and blog writers. So I can scroll through some of these jobs. There's a proofreading job, redesign for a website, SEO blog writer. Um, so as you can see, there's quite a bit of different jobs, and they're posted relatively recently. So this is also something I looked at, how recently they were posted. So you generally want to be looking for jobs that are posted within the hour. This gives you the best shot of success when applying for these jobs. So I'll just go ahead and find a job here. So is there any questions from here? I know I'm kind of moving a bit fast, but I'll take any questions in the chat if there are any questions.
Somebody asked a question in the chat. It said, when you have multi skills, how do you upload them on Upwork?
That's a great question, actually. So if you have multiple skills, so I'll go to my profile here. If you have multiple skills, you'll go to your profile, and there's a few ways you can do it. You can either go here and you can add a specialized profile. So you'll create a new specialized profile, continue, and you can choose your specialty. So on your general profile here, it'll have kind of what you're mostly good at. So these are kind of some of the things that I do. But if you want to create a specialized profile, so let's say I wanted to create a specialized profile for, let's say you want to do customer service. You go there and you can kind of just choose what you're good at customer service. So some people like to do call support, chat support, community management. You can, kind of choose which one of these you're good at. And it'll kind of, populate there. So as you see, it kind of started a draft there. I don't want to keep going because it's going to add to my profile. But as you see, if you're if you really wanted to do customer service, you can kind of just play around in there and it'll save there. If there are any questions, could somebody read them to me in the chat? I'm actually kind of struggling to see the chat.
Okay. I think that's the only question so
That's
far.
the question. Okay, awesome. That was a great question though. So yeah, so you can actually do that there, and then it'll actually give you different categories to kind of choose from. So going back to our explanation of this, so we can go and choose jobs. So I will say for the jobs that I like to choose, I kind of prioritize them a little bit. So I don't like applying for jobs that don't seem very serious. So on Fiverr, as you guys learned Fiverr yesterday, people actually come to you when they're looking for your services. But on Upwork, it's kind of the opposite, where you're going out and looking for jobs. So that means you kind of have to, filter out some of these jobs. So like for this, this doesn't really mean anything. So I wouldn't apply for a job like this because it doesn't seem like they're very serious. There's no description, there's no title. It says graphic design, but they don't really have any explanation of that. So, and also another thing I look at is their payment verification. If they're unverified, you generally want to stay away from, if they're unverified and haven't spent any money, you generally want to stay away from that, just because it proves that they're not very experienced on the platform. I like to work with more experienced, more experienced clients on Upwork. So let's look for a job that I kind of, so taking all that into account with the payment verification, how much they spent, how long ago it was posted. See, let's go back. So this is just all part of the process. If I can't find a job, actually this is something else I should mention. So the reason I'm not just going around and applying for every job there is because you actually have to pay for essentially pay for job applications on Upwork. So that's where the connects come into play. So connects are essentially, think of them as job application points. So you have to essentially spend a certain amount of job application points per job you apply to. So that's why you don't want to just be applying to every job that you see. So currently I have 55 connects or job application points. I think they're charged at about $1.05 per 10. So it's, when you're making quite a bit of money on Upwork, it's not a huge amount to pay. Most jobs are about $2. So if you pay $1.50 or $2, you can apply for about 5 jobs. So that's not too bad. I usually get about 1 in 5 jobs that I get, and they're paying me more than $1.50. So it kind of balances out. So yeah, for me, I pay a little extra for a bit more. I pay $15 a month for 80 connects. Obviously, you don't have to do that. If you're just kind of getting started, you can Upwork will give you some for free, as you're starting, and they'll give you some kind of every month as as you get into the platform as a new freelancer. So you don't have to worry too much about that. But you will have to take that into account when you are applying for jobs. So we'll move on to these jobs. I'll use a different search here. Writer. All right, so I think this is definitely a job I would apply for here. We're looking for a writer who has experience writing SEO focused blogs. I do have experience doing that. Creating based on, okay. So yeah, this is a perfect blog or perfect project that I'd apply for on Upwork. So just applying, you will definitely want to read the requirements they have for the job. You can also see, how many proposals were sent out. This is something I look at. I like it to be less than 5. If it's ever more than 10, I generally won't apply for the job. But less than 5 is perfect. You'll also see how many people they're interviewing. So it seems that their job is fairly new, posted 20 minutes ago. So they're just, I guess, scoping through some of the applicants that they're getting. So this is good as well. invites sent, unanswered invites. This doesn't, this doesn't really make much of a difference in whether I apply or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and submit a proposal. So here it's just kind of rehashing some of that information that you saw there. And here's where you're going to pick your rate for the job. So here you'll see the client's budget, how much they're willing to pay. Usually, they will go higher if they're looking for some specialized talent. But this is usually kind of the budget that Upwork gives them, and they kind of just go with that. So I'm going to bid an hourly of 40. So that's just it kind of just depends on how much you want to make. With clients like these, I usually that's usually kind of a sweet spot for me, and kind of how I charge clients. Moving forward to the cover letter. So this is just kind of what it's an explanation of what you'll do for the client. So you want to go back up here and see what they're looking for. So they're looking for they have a YouTube channel, and they're looking for blogs about their YouTube channel, essentially. So what I'm going to do is, talk about, I'm somebody that likes to watch YouTube. So I'll talk about that. So hello, or good morning. Thanks for posting to Upwork today. My name is and I'd be happy to help you write SEO focused blogs, about videos on your YouTube channel. So simply just, introducing myself and identifying the fact that I've read, their job posting and what they're looking for. So next would be kind of talking about what I can do so my capabilities as a freelancer and what I can do for them in a freelance setting. So with my services, I can offer you, so I can, usually I like to tell them kind of how much time I can allocate to their project, or how many blogs I can deliver to them. For something like this, with kind of my current workload, I'd say I can offer you five blogs a week at about 1,000 words. So that's just kind of explaining my capabilities, telling them I can offer you this. And another thing that clients really worry about is price, right, and budget. So they're running a company, want to keep their expenses stable, want to make sure that they don't spend too much or overspend on a project that they're not looking to overspend on. So that's why I personally like to keep my pricing pretty simple. So my pricing is generally 500 words per hour. So that means if you're 500 words per hour. So at 1,000 words, 500 times 2, 1,000 words, that'll be 2 hours, which would be $80 for them. So I'll kind of explain that in this cover letter here. My hourly rate is equal to 500 words of written content with 500 words of written content. So I'll just simply put that meaning a 5 blog would cost $40. Right. So that's just explaining how much each blog would cost. So this is not exactly my rate, but it's not too far off. So $40. And then moving forward, just going on to say, I look forward to connecting with you. Connecting with you. Please find some examples of my work below. So this is usually where I put my website. If you don't have a website, that's not a problem. It's definitely not necessarily. It's not definitely not necessarily necessary to have a website. I didn't start with the website. I actually just made a website. Maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago at the most. But this is where you will want to include examples of some of your work. I have a lot of work here that I kind of have. None of it's necessarily related, but I'll just kind of I'll throw in this is a blog I wrote about driver's license classes. So yeah, so just so they can kind of get a feel for my work and what I do. And you'll just submit the proposal. And after you submit the proposal, that's about it. So if they like your proposal, they'll reach back out to you. And I guess I can show kind of what that looks like as well. Okay, so for this is a good one. So as you can see here, this is a proposal I sent out a couple. It was in October, so a couple weeks ago. They were a bit slow to kind of hire, but they eventually hired me. So that's another thing to look out for, is that especially if you're working for a bigger company, they may be slow to message back and slow to reply and slow to give you jobs and things. You may just want to be patient, because a lot of these companies have to go through 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 to 25 people before making a decision. So that can kind of get slow. So this is a job I applied to in October. Written blogs for digital marketing. That's something I'm very passionate about, something I've written about a lot. I proposed my terms, answer their questions. So this is something I recommend that new freelancers do, is to make a pitch, make a cover letter like I just made before, but make it custom to you. So make one that you can kind of copy and paste across a lot of different applications, so that you're not having to, because as you saw me creating the one I just made for this, it took a bit of time. It took a lot of deleting, adding, doing things like that. So if you have one that you can kind of just you could just plug in, maybe change a few words and then send out, that's way better, and it'll save you a lot of time. So this is mine. This is what I use. I've used this for probably all of 2020. Very simple. It talks about what I do, like I said, talks about some of my experiences, and it tells them that I've done a lot of work in this space, and then shows them my portfolio. Very simple, straight to the point. And sometimes they'll ask questions in their application, so I answer the questions, or just basic questions about marketing. And so after as you can see, they're a client that's kind of spent a lot of money on Upwork. So that's, a reason I was looking at working with them. But let's actually look at their job posting. So, very well-reviewed client on Upwork, verified payment, lots of money spent. So yeah, so, a very ideal client for me. So let's go into our interview. So as you see, I was the only client or only person that was interviewed for the job. Go into that interview here.
Okay, I could have a question.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. What was the question?
How much can a new freelancer charge?
That's a good question. I think that depends on first, it depends on what your domain is, so what you're doing. I've seen, I can actually show examples of that. I've seen some freelancers talent. So if you're a coder, if you're in a Python, I think you could look at some of the top talent on Python.
But you know what,
Yes.
on here, some people are also writers. We have a lot of people that are not. Most of people here, they are not all in programming or coding field. We have some writers, we have graphic designs, we have everybody here. So just
Okay, just generally, I mean,
just
so
generally.
if you're speaking generally, in an hour, if we're talking a fix or a per project, it would definitely vary per project if we're talking generally across all freelancers. But if we're talking per hour, I think a good rate to start at freelancing would definitely be $10, 10 US dollars. I'm pretty confident in saying that if your work is good, that people are happy to pay you $10 an hour. And as you start to prove your value to clients, and they're, as you guys talked about on Fiverr, they're leaving feedback, leaving reviews. You can gradually start to increase that, higher and higher. But $10 is a great starting point.
Does it make a difference where you are, assuming that you are a writer in the US? You have a writer from outside US. Does it make a difference in pricing?
I think it. So I don't think your location at all matters in writing. I think what matters the most is, one, your knowledge of the topic that you're writing about. So let's say you wanted to write for this company here. You want to make sure that you know all of these subjects very well, right? So that would mean, whether that's through studying them, through reading books, you want to make sure that, one, you know these topics well, and one, that you can articulate them well through writing. So that means, very proper English grammar skills, English writing. You know, if you want to read books to increase your English comprehension. I think I guess I say this to say that your location doesn't necessarily matter, but how well you write English and how well you're able to translate ideas into the English language is what's most important.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for those questions. I really appreciate that. Always feel free to ask questions. Thank you, Ada, for interrupting me and getting those questions.
Okay.
So moving, so yeah, as I was talking about this client, those are some of the reasons that I picked the client as, somebody I wanted to apply to. And as you can see here, it took them a while to actually get back to me. So yeah, I sent the proposal October 9th, and it wasn't until October 25th that he actually reached back out to me, asked me a quick question, answered the question pretty just answered the question. It took him actually another month to get back to me, and kind of explain more of the project that he wanted me to do for him. So I explained my rate, made everything very clear and concise for him. And then a couple days later, gave me some clarification, just clarifying on price here. Actually, I see that. I see the chat. Let's see if I can pull it up. Ada, could you actually send me the chat? I can't. It won't pull up for me for some reason. Nothing. Okay. Um, so it took him a while to get back to me. And actually here he asked me to pitch some ideas. So I actually went in and looked in this file, kind of saw. We'll go and look in here. saw some of the some of the blog posts that they've been doing for their company. How restaurants can pivot to offer delivery and takeout during COVID-19. Just very creative, timely blog posts. So I took that and said, okay, went through some of their notes. Just really got a real good feel of their business and what their content strategy consisted of. Said, okay, I'll pitch some ideas based on that. And these were the ideas that I pitched to him. Boom, boom, boom. Just four very simple ideas. He said, I'll get back to you tomorrow. We're going to revise some of these ideas. And, as I've said, this started way back in October. So like 3 months ago. So sometimes it's a bit of a process, especially for a company like his. I can tell that, this is a pretty large enterprise company that's going through multiple people to get decisions made. So, their lead times are a bit longer than somebody working with a 1-man or 2-man team. So I just kind of wait on it. He's actually already sent me the offer, sent me the contract. So he sent the offer a couple of days ago when I actually sent him the pitches. I guess those were good enough for him, so he sent me the offer, and I'm just kind of waiting to get the okay so I can start writing. So once I start writing, he'll be one of my clients, and we'll just continue from there.
Okay, so basically with what you just explained, you started pursuing this job in October,
right.
And it's taking till December for you to get the job.
Right.
So it takes a little while.
Right.
And that's with the much experience that you have. Somebody has a question here. She says, please, can I prepare project milestones for a client? I mean, how can I prepare project milestone? I'm a developer.
So is she asking, let me see, is it specifically, is she talking specifically on UpWork, how to create project milestones?
Let me see who asked.
Can she actually get on audio? I think I have an idea of what she's asking, but I just want a bit of clarification.
Okay, maybe tell the Obiora. Obiora, can you unmute yourself and ask your question so maybe we can help answer that? So I can help answer that.
All right, thank you for the explanations. The thing is that I was using Freelancer for freelancing. So most clients used to ask for project milestones, right? So I found it difficult to be able to split the project into sections that I can charge differently. So I don't know, or is there any way that I can do it? And
no, that's a good question. That's a good question. So I think personally, project milestones, they're good for, like you said, splitting up the assignments in a few different parts. I understand what you mean by saying that sometimes it may be difficult to split them up just because, the project, so big, it may be hard to kind of separate it. But I think you just have to, just, I guess, kind of think of ways to split it up into smaller different sections to charge the client. So for example, if you say you wanted to make $100 on a project, you would first start out with maybe a beginning consultation, charge $10 for that, and then go on and say, hey, maybe for a first draft I'll charge $30 for that. See if you like it, see if they can test it out, test out the code, see if that works for them. Come back, do another draft, charge another $40 for that. So kind of just breaking up like that, and sending it over to your client for feedback and seeing what they want. And then when it's all said and done, you can just charge the whole amount. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
There's another question too. What is project milestone? Can you please elaborate on this?
Yeah, so project milestones will look different depending on what you're doing, but So I guess I'll talk about the project milestone for me because that's a bit easier to explain. So project milestone would essentially just be um, different kind of achievements that you and the client come to. So for example, a project milestone. So let's say I was writing I was supposed to write let's say I was writing an ebook for a client. This is actually something I did. You know, I'll go ahead and show you guys that actually. This is a project I did with Milestones. Uh, so this is an ebook I wrote with this company. And these were all our milestones, right? So the ebook was supposed to be 7,000 words. Obviously, 7,000 words is very, very, very big. So we broke it down into separate milestones. Um, okay, here are the milestones. So we started with the part one. So part one was 3,000 words. So I wrote 3,000 words, sent it over to them. That completed milestone one. We did part two, which was milestone two. I wrote another 5,000 words. That was about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks after the first milestone. Wrote another 5,000 words, sent it over to them. They approved that, paid me. Um, and I did another 2,000 words for the last milestone, milestone three. Finished that, sent that over. They paid me, and then that was the end of the ebook. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually that project is actually on Amazon. Yeah, as a Kindle product. That's pretty cool. I actually haven't looked at it, but it's something I'm pretty proud of.
Oh, so they have it on Amazon.
Yeah, they're selling it. It's kind of like a content marketing kind of piece for their company.
Okay. So
So
any
there,
other question?
yeah.
I guess that's it.
Awesome. I'm not sure. I don't think there's much else to explain about Upwork. Uh, true. Yeah, that's it for me.
Did everybody understand what he explained? I'm uh, I'm still checking if there's no any more question. If you want to speak, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Looking for a job, looking at the job posting, please, how can one optimize his skills to be ready to take a full job like those? Did you get that? Cannot ban your account. Okay, you have two questions now.
Let me see if I can try myself.
You can see, you can read, see it?
No.
Okay, let me read the first one. The first one says, can Upwork ban your account?
Yes, so Upwork can ban your account. That's a great question. Upwork can ban your account. My account hasn't been banned, but it's definitely been compromised to a point where I couldn't get into my account for about 4 or 5 months, which really hurt. So the first way that Upwork will ban your account is if you attempt to talk to clients outside of Upwork. So one thing that clients will try to do is try to send you their personal email address, or send you their number, saying, "Hey, call me. Hey, email me." You do not want to do that. You want to say, "I prefer if we stay on Upwork," because Upwork read all your messages. Upwork has read my messages before. So they will know if you're, talking to clients about taking them off Upwork or to other platforms and things like that, and they will ban your account on the spot. Won't ask you any questions about it. So you want to make sure that you avoid doing that. And most of the other ways that you'll get banned from Upwork are just, doing things that you shouldn't be doing, like scamming people, or not delivering on your promises and things like that. So as long as you're a good freelancer and you don't try to take clients off Upwork, you shouldn't really have problems with getting banned.
Okay, the next question says, looking at the job posting, please, how can I, hold up this one. Looking at job posting, please, how can one optimize his skills to be ready to take a full job like this?
So I mean, it's really, I think, I think a lot of that just comes from just applying. A lot of people don't expect you to be an expert in anything when you're applying. They just want somebody that could do the job well. So you don't need to have been freelancing for 17 years with degree in this, degree in that to be successful as freelancing. I'd say what you should do is as soon as you have an account, just apply for that. I look at as far as
I think we
making
lost
sure.
you for a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, my internet is okay. You can see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as I was saying, so it doesn't really, you don't really need lots of experience to be successful at Upwork. I'd say um, a lot of clients are just looking for somebody to do the job well. So if you know how to do the job well, that's really what matters most. Um, so I mean, any of these jobs, right? Like as long as if you're a writer specifically, if you know how to, for example, maybe a lot of you may not know American football, but if you let's say this didn't even say American. Let's say you just know football, right? Like football, soccer, whatever, um, playing the game, playing English clubs, things like that. If you're knowledgeable in that aspect and you can write about it, that's all that matters. So you don't necessarily need to have a lot of experience. Just kind of figure out what you're good at and what you know how to do, and just start applying for jobs and seeing what happens. I'd say what matters most is getting your feedback. So if you have to, maybe pricing a little lower to get some jobs on your belt, get that feedback, and then increasing your price as you go, like I was saying.
Okay, there's another question. How can you attach your previous job example for a copywriter who writes copies? Can you convert all to a PDF and send as attachment?
Wow, that's a really really good question. That's something I usually when I'm doing uh, things like that, I usually just send it as I'll usually just send the website. But I can definitely understand why you want to send the PDF. So I'm pretty sure I know how to do that. So I'm gonna do that here. Um,
Can you do that? Can you send a PDF or you just send a website, a link?
oh yeah. So yeah, if you know how to send a PDF, yeah, you can send a PDF. You can send a website. It doesn't matter. Yeah, if you know how to send a PDF, it's not really that hard. So yeah, you could just send over an attachment of the PDF or send over the link to the website itself. But what I will say about the PDF is that Upwork doesn't take a lot of PDFs because PDFs are have large file sizes, and a website will probably have a pretty large file size. So that may not work when you're attaching it to the proposal. So you may just want to send the link now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, and also I will add something there from Fiverr experience, or from general experience, because sometimes when you when you work for people, that becomes their property. So you can't share their property as PDF to somebody else because you're just giving their work to somebody else. So sharing a link will be better so that they can just go look at the link instead of having their work in their profile in their profile. I don't know. Did that make
Yeah,
sense?
no,
Like,
yeah, no, that's actually a good point. Especially yeah, no, that's very true. If you so for example, I did a project with like a company that deals with education, like universities and things like that. And when I was making their copy, uh, we made all the copy in like a Google Docs, and then they pasted it on the website. So don't if you have the copy in like a Google Docs or like a Word document, don't just send that document to the client that you're looking to work with. As an example, you're definitely better off just sending sending the website in that case. You definitely don't want to share work like that.
Yeah, work with other people. Okay, you have another question here to can we get the complete record? Okay, this is for me to answer. Okay, I'll get back with you on this, Mr. Israel. Okay, anybody else have another question?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
can you tell us your name, sir, and where you're calling from?
Okay. Okay. I'm Obiora from Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay. There is how I've been seeing Upwork since I've been hearing about it, about how it has been competitive. The, how to set up the account. I don't know why, because
Okay.
hello the
All right. Hello.
I don't hello.
Who's
So,
that? Is somebody else speaking? Let's speak one after the other, please.
So the thing there is that I've been using freelancer, but then I am so interested in Upwork. But I've been seeing people advertising to help people set up their accounts. That showing how hard it is to set up account on Upwork. I don't know. Well, my question is that is there any particular way or trick that you can use to be able to set up account, especially for Nigerians on Upwork?
If you are in the group, I will take that question. If you are in the group, if you are in our freelancing group, last night we sent out a video where I did a video on step-by-step how to set up an account on Upwork. So I will encourage you to go back to the video and maybe look at, go back to the group and look at the video, because if we start doing that step by step, it will take all our time. And that was the reason why he did it before this class, so that everybody will have that to try and set up their own profile on Upwork and come with questions. So maybe you just
Oh,
look at that again, okay?
all right, all right. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Anybody else have question? We're going to round this up I'm going to give it back to Sultan at 9 o'clock. So anybody have any other question about Upwork?
Yes.
Ari, what's your question?
Okay. I didn't quite get your answer about the link. If you've done a previous job for somebody, should you send the link of the person's website as attachment?
Yeah, so you could just send the so for example, if I had worked on this website here, I would take the link. If I did this, I didn't do this, but if I did this work, I'll take the link. Say I wanted to apply to this job here. Take the link and then just paste the paste it here. Right, so you can say this is some of the work I've done, and then at the top, your introduction with your name and all that, and then so this is some of the work I've done. You can find it here, and then that's that.
Yeah, I think that's better than than sending them a PDF of a job you did for somebody else.
Yes, thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you so much, Ike. Thank you for the introduction to Upwork. And if we don't have any other questions about Upwork, or if you have any more questions, you
Well,
can.
there's a question here. It says, what must I do to win? What must I do to win project on Upwork? Because I've submitted numerous proposals and no response. Okay. So I think this is a good question as well. This is something I faced when I was starting out. So I'm going to share my screen one more time and kind of go through what me personally I would look for if I was new and I wanted to start out on Upwork and I was looking for jobs. So let's say, I'm going to continue as a writer because that's the best experience I can pull from. and I wanted to start looking for jobs. So I want to type in writer here, see who's looking for a writer. And then we can go on, yes, we can go on and, so I'm going to change that. And then advanced, ooh, it's not it. Oh, it's on this side. So you want to look at, so you want to look here, right? You want to filter out some of the jobs to make it easier, to make sure that all the jobs that you're looking at are, you know, jobs that you're probably going to get, jobs that you have the best possibility of winning. So those jobs for me, or for everybody really, are the clients who have the best history on Upwork. So clients who have at least one hire on Upwork, and of course clients who also have more than 10 hires on Upwork. If you're, submitting a lot of jobs, you may be submitting a lot of jobs to clients who have no hires on Upwork. So that may be people who aren't as serious as hiring people. So if you want to ensure your best chance of success, make sure they have hired at least one person on the platform. Now, moving forward, you want to also, like I said, if you want to optimize your chances of success, optimize the chance that you'll receive at least one job, you want to go less than 5 proposals. Make sure that, not many people have applied to a job, whether they've, looked over the job. Maybe they felt like their skills, weren't sufficient for the job. So less than 5. And for budget, this really just depends on you. So this is kind of just how much you want to make on it. I don't think that will kind of affect, whether you get the job or not. Project links and payment verified. So this is the next one. Make sure that they have all their credit card information on Upwork, because it's unlikely that, they're going to hire you if they don't even have, a credit card in the Upwork platform. So from there, just going through looking for the jobs. Like I said, let's click a random job, going through it and doing your proposal or your cover letter, as I said. So first, starting with an introduction. I'm just going to write it out. Starting with an introduction. My name is, going to your capabilities. I can do, and your rate. This will charge. And then just a like a salutation, I guess I'll say. Thanks for reading. And include your portfolio. And that can be either your website or, as Santo Chuku was saying, just simply, pasting, some work you've done in the past. So like pasting something like this. And that's really the formula for a cover letter, right? I mean, if you do something like this, you're pretty much likely to get 1 in 5 jobs. That's the average. Most Upwork people, they say, get 1 in 5 jobs they apply for. So you're bound to get at least 1 in every 5 jobs you apply for if you're doing something like this.
Okay, and you have another question, and I also have a question looking at what you just did. You have your profile set up on US only. Does that make a difference?
Okay, yeah, that I was expecting to get that question. So this is actually not something that I did. This is just by me putting in my address. They lumped me in this category as US only because I'm in the US. However, if you're not in the US, you'll more than likely see this, something like this. However, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. I think, well, not I think, I know that tons of US companies, as look like United States. So moving back to US only, you'll know it's, or I know it's US only because you'll see only freelancers located in the United States will apply. But as you can see here, there are much more jobs here, and from the United States, and it doesn't have anything like that requirement. So it really doesn't matter. That's just kind of something that I have access to based on my location.
Okay, thank you. I think there's another question. How do I set up payment plan for someone?
Payment option.
Payment option.
So I believe, so personally, I'm not too versed in that aspect, but I think that would be through Payoneer. I think we were discussing.
Yeah, we discussed that last time. We discussed that yesterday too about Pioneer. Yeah, we talked about Pioneer yesterday during the Fiverr training. If you have a Pioneer account, you can also use it on Upwork. So I will encourage everybody that wants to do freelancing. Doesn't matter the platform that you want to set up your freelancing account on, open up a Pioneer account. That would be the best way that you Pioneer can pay into your bank, your local bank when you get a job offer. How long does it take for you to get paid after you do a project on Upwork?
It depends on the type of job that you're applying for. So yeah, it depends on the type of job you're applying for. So if it's an hourly job, so let's start with fixed jobs first, actually. So if it's a fixed price job, say they're going to pay me $100. So we started the project today. Today is December 13th. Let's say I finished the project on Monday. Monday would be, I would say Sunday. Let's say I finished on Wednesday. Wednesday would be December 16th. Um, so if I finish December 16th, they approve the project on December 16th. I get paid 5 days after the completion and approval of the project. If it's a fixed price, so that means I'll get paid 5 days after the 16th which would be Monday. Monday, which would be the following Monday. So if it's hourly works a bit differently, and you will get your payment a bit later than fixed. So hourly is about a week and a half. I would explain all that, but it's a bit confusing. But it's about a week and a half from the time that you did your work to the time that you get paid when you're doing hourly jobs.
Oh my gosh, I have so many questions. Are there cases where the client doesn't pay you after job completion, and what could be done for that reason?
Sorry, I was muted. Are there cases where the client doesn't pay you after job completion, and what could be the reasons? Yes, there are cases. There definitely are cases where clients. Let me change my answer. So no, clients will not just not pay you. So clients will have to pay you on Upwork if you do a job. So if you for example, if I wrote an article for 1,000 words, send it over to a client, they're supposed to pay me $100, and then they say, "Oh, we don't like this for whatever reason. It's not what I wanted." Um, they could uh, they could say we don't like this, we don't want to pay you. But at the end of the day, you've already done the job. So it's up to you what you want to do, right? So this is a very multifaceted question because on one end, Upwork will back you up if you say no, like you don't get a refund because I already did the job and I delivered you the project, right? So you'll get all your money and Upwork won't penalize you for it. But on the flip side, your client will leave you bad feedback saying, "Oh, I didn't like the job and they didn't provide me any remedy for it. They didn't give me a refund for it. So I'm leaving the relationship feeling unhappy." And that will provide a negative mark to your profile, but you'll still keep the money. Or on the other hand, you can say, that same situation, they're supposed to pay you. They say, "I don't like the work." You can say, "Oh, well, I will, I can edit it for you. Like I can revise it for you till you like it." That's one way. Or two, you can say, "Okay, well, if you don't," or if they say no to that, for example, you can say, "Well, okay, that's fine. You can just pay me half price and we can call it that." And a lot of clients will go for that because they do realize that you put work in it. But sometimes you may just have to say, "You know what, just don't pay me anything because I don't want the negative mark on my profile." If it's a really difficult client, personally, I've never had to go that far, so I don't really expect you to have to do that.
Okay.
So if you have any questions till then, just feel free to ask. So do job posts expire? Job postings expire in 30 days. So every 30 days, job posts will go away. So, but generally, I wouldn't be looking for posts that are more than a day or two old. So yeah, but job posts do expire after a little bit. Next question: can I use the same emails I used to open an account on Fiverr, also on Upwork or Freelance, so as not to be banned or use? So you can use the same email on all three platforms and not face any consequences. They're all like separate entities. They don't communicate with each other at all. So using the same email address is okay, and would probably be easier for you, because all the emails about clients, about jobs will be going to one place, and you won't have to go from one email to another. So you probably should use the same email for all platforms. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you for sharing your experience on Upwork. Thank you for answering all the questions. And I will give it back to Sultan. Sultan, maybe speak a little more, just around the whole training up about freelancing and Upwork. I think just before Sultan start, I think some of the things that happens on freelance on Fiverr, I think is also the same thing on Upwork. Listening to Ike, you can be banned. The payment system is almost about the same. You need your feedback for you to get more. You need good feedback from your clients to get more work. And another thing I have to say about the feedback is, if you do good job for your clients, they will give you good feedback. And some of your clients will come back. That's another question I wanted to ask about. I think it's too late now. When you get a client that hires you, that gives you work at least once or twice a week, a month. So that's almost like having a job. That's like you have something steady coming in. You can say, okay, from this client, I'll make $100, I'll make $200 every month. That is something you are sure of. And I think that is worth working hard for, to have that, develop that relationship with a client, where they can always come to you when they need a job, when they need something done. So I hope you all will just take that. It doesn't matter on what platform you are on, either on Fiverr or Upwork. So Sultan, what do you have to say?
Thank you so much. That was an amazing, amazing explanation by Ike, and it was surely helpful. This was my first experience with Upwork, knowing how it works, and I think everything is literally crystal clear. Really nice to know how everything works. Now, yesterday we talked about Fiverr, and today we talked about Upwork, and like Ada said, both of them extremely reputable platforms. Both of them had a lot of audience. Both of them kind of work the same way as well, but the main difference is the traditional and the non-traditional. Now, Upwork is a traditional platform that basically means that you reach out to the buyers and you send your proposals, while Fiverr is the exact opposite. You post your service and buyers reach basically to the sellers or to you. So now this will help you basically just decide where you want to go to when you start your freelancing career. Either choose Upwork, either choose Fiverr. You want to choose both, sure. If that suits you, then go for it. Sure, give yourself more options. Now, over here we were discussing one thing. I would just like to add a little bit more to that we were discussing that what happens if can a buyer just go without paying you? And like I told you, it's not really likely, because the freelancing platform will back you up if you tell them that is not agreeing to pay me. However, I already did the work. Now, on both of these platforms, on Fiverr, you basically, if someone says that I don't like a work, you can revise it. But if they just completely disagree to pay and you have done your effort into it and you don't want to just leave that work, you can definitely tell that to Fiverr. You can contact the first customer care support and they will basically make the buyer pay you. But then again, you will get that little payment of your project, but you will have a significant impact that is basically a bad review on your profile. Now you have to remember, you can make those couple of dollars again, but you can never remove that one review from your profile. So either take a temporary loss, then you can definitely recover, or just get a permanent loss that cannot be recovered. So make sure that your first priority always is a good reputation, good reviews, so that you can get more projects easily and you can basically generate more income. So that's all I have to say. And I think these 3 days or that we have regarding freelancing, I definitely learned a lot from it. I hope you guys learned a lot from it regarding freelancing. We started from what is freelancing to all the way to explaining basically all the two major platforms, Fiverr and Upwork. So this should give you a very, very good idea about freelancing. And now I don't think there is anything stopping you from starting your own career in freelancing. So thank you so much for all of you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sultan.
I think we're good.
You're good. Anybody has any more questions? If anybody want to say something about this class, can you just unmute yourself and say something? If this class benefited you, what are you going to do next? What is your plan? What are you going to do with what you've learned here? You can unmute yourself and say so and speak. Thank you, and you all have a blessed day. And good luck to everyone in all your endeavors, in your freelancing journey. I wish you guys the best. And can you guys maybe share with us sometimes how you're doing with your freelancing, maybe in the WhatsApp group? We'll really be glad to hear your success stories about freelancing. Thank you and God bless. Bye. You all stay safe.